Hello beautiful creatures, and the topic of today's video is how to fix your back in one day. I had a back issues for 15 years. 15 years I struggled with the back pain and I fixed it in one night without any surgeries, without any physical or without any doctors, without any physical therapy, without hospitals, without everything. But before I'm gonna tell the story how that actually happened to me. When I was 16, I jumped from the hill because I was trying to do some extreme sport, cool stuff, 16 years old boy. So I jumped from the hill 2 meter or 3 meter high, and I jumped from the hill to the snow. The first jump was okay, but the second jump, when I jumped, there was like a huge ice under an ice box under the snow, and I hit that ice with my lower back. So my spine, L3 and L2, for those of you who have back issues, you guys know L1, L2, L3, that's our spine. L2 and 3 got smashed together like this, and I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe for like maybe a minute or two. But then as soon as I start breathing, I finally felt myself like breathing again and stuff like that. I realized that I was not able to get up. So after like 4 or 5 hours, my parents took me to the hospital because that was back in the village and there were no doctors over there. So my dad drove me to the hospital, and at the hospital they took an x-ray and they told me that I'm not going to be able to walk anymore. Imagine, when I was 16, you are 16 years old and they're telling you that you're not going to be able to walk anymore. So when I heard that, I lost my consciousness. They brought me back by giving me something. They put like some spirit over here and you breathe with that and you come back. So I came back and I asked to the doctor, the first question I asked, I was like, what happened? And he was like, we told you you're not going to be able to walk anymore. So I started losing my consciousness again. They brought me back. So after like 5-10 minutes of going back and forth, losing my consciousness, I know it might sound funny, but it wasn't funny at all. So after going back and forth, I finally realized that I'm in a big trouble right now. And at that point, I was not able to sit. I was either laying down or laying down. That's it. That's what I was doing actually. And at that point, I was in the karate classes and the sport was a priority for me. So I asked the doctor when the next day I'm going to be able to come back to the sport. And he said, son, listen, I just told you you're not going to be able to walk. What kind of sport are you talking about? So after 2-3 months in the hospital, I started walking. I did start walking, but I walked really, really bad. Let's say if you looked at me when I was 16, I would look like a guy, maybe from the back, I would look like an 80 or 90 years old. Like when 90 years old, they walk like this. So I was walking like this. My back wasn't straight. It was all screwed up like this. So I was walking like this. So I struggled with that pain for 15 years. I tried going to the different doctors. I tried different physical therapies back in Russia. Then when I moved to America, I was still struggling with the back pain. Like I said, I went to the physical therapy. They did ultrasound therapies. They did different massages. I went to the chiropractors. I did all that stuff, what the internet is telling you to do. All right. So I even was gonna go to do the surgery, but I was told that the surgery is gonna take 50-50 chances because I have 50 chances to become a disabled person, or 50% chances that I'm gonna be able to walk like a normal person again. And I didn't want to take that chance. So after a while, like 15 years, I was reading books, I was listening to different people, different mentors. I tried, fasting. I tried a little bit of breath works. Maybe I should have gone deeper in the breath works. I don't know, maybe. So I tried different things. Then I came to that book by John Kehoe. It's the name of the book, Subconscious Power or something like this. Subconscious Power Can Do Anything. I read it in Russia. That's why I know the Russian translation. I'm not sure which that translation of that book is in English. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. So I realized that I might have a block in my subconscious mind, right? Okay, what needs to be done? What should I do? And I was meditating at that point a little bit. I was doing different practices, different techniques. And one night, I was doing a technique, working with my subconscious mind, using special triggered words to go deep into your subconscious mind, because you can go into subconscious mind by different ways, using different ways, different techniques. Breathing is actually one of the techniques. That's why I told you I should have maybe go deeper a little bit with the breathing, but I tried meditation, which also helped, but with the meditation, you gotta know how to meditate, and you gotta know how to enter into a subconscious mind so you actually can fix the program over there. Or you can use a special triggered words to go into a subconscious mind, to go consciously into a subconscious mind without going deep into the meditation. So at that point, I was using those triggered words, and I realized that I have attachments. Not even attachments, but I have, a heavy duties on my back. And those duties were my family. It was my mom, my father, my sister. I was responsible for their lives. So basically what happened was I was carrying, not physically, but emotionally, and a huge emotional baggage on my back, starting when I was 7 years old, 8 years old, to be honest with you, 8 years old. Yes, that was back then. Yeah, 9 years old. So it didn't start in one day. So it started maybe when I was 7, 8, 9. So by 9 years old, I realized that I have responsibilities, but those responsibilities were not for my life, but I took the responsibilities for my parents' life. So, and year by year, day by day, month by month, hour by hour, I was just adding that heavy emotional baggage to my back. At one point, my back couldn't take it anymore, and it broke. And I released some baggage, some emotional baggage at that point, but not the whole baggage, you know what I mean? Not the whole bag of emotions, not the whole bag of responsibility for my parents, right? So that bag was still there, and when I was walking, I felt pain, especially when I was sneezing. For those of you who have back pain, you guys probably understand what I'm talking about. Every time I used to sneeze, I would go like, achoo, ah, and I couldn't move for like maybe 30 seconds to a minute, and then it would have released me a little bit, but the pain was still there. So that night, when I was working with my subconscious mind, I realized that I was responsible for my family. Even though my mom was okay, my dad was okay, they were not like rich, they were not like living in the mansions and everything, but they were okay. They divorced. I was responsible for their divorce as well, because when they got divorced, I took that responsibility on me. It's a psychological thing. You can Google it if you want to. Because every kid, if your parents divorced, you probably understand what I'm talking about. Because every kid takes a responsibility. He thinks or she thinks that he or she is guilty for that divorce. They take that responsibility. They think that, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? I'm going to repeat that. Why are my parents getting divorced right now? And they taking that guilt, that responsibility on their shoulders or on their back. I took it on my back, and I was carrying it for 15 years. So that night when I was working with my subconscious mind, it was hard. It was really freaking hard. But I decided to let it go. I just let it go. It was hard, for 15 years, I know more. I was about 29, 30 years old when I released that, 30 years old, I believe. It started at 8. For 22 years, I had the responsibility on my back. And to realize that I'm not the one who is responsible for their life anymore, and I'm the one who is responsible for my own life, that was freaking hard. I cried. I didn't want to believe in that. I was, punching walls, yelling, walking, no, my life. I'm responsible for my father. I'm responsible for my mother. If you asked me at that point, that day, in the morning, and you would have come to me and said, yo, you're responsible for your parents, I would say, no. It's deep into your subconscious mind. I didn't even realize that I was responsible for them. That's the thing. Sometimes we are so busy, work, home, gym, friends, movies, social media, blah, 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 blah. We don't even realize 100% what the heck is going on with our subconscious mind. Why is this thing is happening to us? So at that point, I was young. I'm still young. But I was younger. I was full of energy. I was walking like this, but it's okay. I got used to it. 15 years walking like this. It's fine. So I decided to release that back heavy emotion from my back. It was hard, like I told you, but I decided to try. What I'm gonna lose? Nothing. So I released that. It was painful. It was. So I decided to release it, to let it go. So I let go of that attachments. I let go of that heaviness, of that huge emotional baggage from my back. I let it go with the tears coming out from my eyes, with the punching walls, with the screamings and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, I felt free. I felt free, so freaking free that I looked outside. It was a night. I was in Brooklyn, I remember. I looked outside. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful night. I didn't even realize how that night was beautiful. And then I looked at the moon. The moon was over there, full moon. I'm like, wow, so beautiful. And I felt light. You know what I mean? I felt light. I felt free. So next day, when I woke up, I went to work. I was working, and then I sneezed. I sneezed, and I was ready for that. I sneezed, and I'm like, hold on a second. I am not feeling that pain anymore. What happened? What happened? I couldn't wait to sneeze one more time. I was doing different things just to sneeze, I googled how to sneeze. I went outside, I look at the sun, because when I look at the sun, sometimes I sneeze. So I was looking at the sun, start crying, because when you look at the sun for too long, your eyes burn. So my eyes were burning, and I tried to sneeze so hard. Then I sneezed, like maybe an hour later, I sneezed, and I'm like, whoa. And I was still walking like this, but it was just a habit. So I decided to, to stretch a little bit and to walk straight. And I did walk straight. And the pain was not there. So there is a science called psychosomatics. If you guys want, you can read a little bit about it, but most likely I'm going to make a video on that in the future. So psychosomatics actually tells you where you have a problem. You actually can Google it. I have a problem, let's say, in my shoulder on the right side. What does it mean in psychosomatics? In psychosomatics, read a couple of articles, not just one. Usually they are pretty accurate, I would say 70 to 80%. And they find that emotional baggage. And when you release it, the pain goes away. For 15 years, I was struggling with a back pain. 15 years. Every single day. I was struggling so much that at one point in my life, it became part of my life. It became my habit to walk like this, to dance like this. I was young, I was going to the clubs, to the bars, drinking, having fun, and every time like this. You know what I mean? So sometimes I tried to be straight, but still I was like a little bit screwed like this. So when I released that heavy emotional baggage, my back pain went away. And not only my back pain went away, I started receiving some financial, I started receiving some money. Some financial help from out of nowhere. My boss decided to give me a raise. So, let go. You are responsible, and I am. We are responsible only for our lives. I know it's probably not going to be that easy just to listen to that video and be like, yeah, whatever, you don't know my situation. My mom is, she's, whatever the situation might be, she's sick, she doesn't have a job. My dad is, trust me, my parents went through the divorce, and they also were not sick or anything, but they were broke. They were living, like my dad didn't have a place to live. for like 10-15 years. A lot of stuff was happening, but the problem was that I took that responsibility on my back. That was the problem. So as soon as I released it, the back pain went away. So if you have a back pain, most likely you are carrying some heavy emotional baggage on your back. That is why you have that back pain. And you can go as much as you want to the chiropractor or to different physical therapists. It might actually help a little bit, but as soon as you stop going to the chiropractor, the pain will come back. As soon as you stop doing the physical therapy, the pain will come back. Because the emotional baggage is still there. Work with your subconscious mind. If you will, I actually wrote a book, and in that book, I'm sharing different techniques how to work with your subconscious mind. So if you want to, you can download it, the link in the bio, and read it. If you're lazy to read, you can contact me, DM me, and I don't know, we can schedule a phone call. It's free, don't worry about it. We can schedule a phone call and we can talk about it. We can talk about your back, about the issues you have, about maybe your health issues. And I'm gonna share with you different techniques, because I can share different techniques in one video, you know. I gotta know you in person. So some people do like meditation, some people don't like meditations, some people like this, some people don't like this, some people like breathing techniques, some people don't like breathing techniques. We are all different, I understand it, I got it. So what I'm trying to say over here, if you have some health issues, especially with the back, like I had, stop going to the doctors. Maybe you did go to the doctors once, twice, 3 times, half a year, 1 year, whatever. If it didn't work, most likely, not most likely, most of the time the problem is in your subconscious mind. That's it. So, thanks for watching this video. I love you. Peace.